but not the same results. Some of you simply suck at some stuff. So you're not going to get what everybody else does. But the nation gives you the opportunity to achieve the best you can. And here's what's so wonderful about it. You can't get there unless you understand the foundations of who you are. You need traditions. No great nation has ever survived without traditions as underpinnings. That's who it is. And you guys have them here, man. I heard the pastor coming up here and praying, saying, thank God we still have a free place to pray. And the singer comes up here and he's talking about what matters, freedom, free speech. And you guys remember traditions. You go to church in Knoxville, Tennessee. You go to church. But here's what I love about Knoxville. Not only do you go to church, when you go, you're packing. So that right there, that has got to make your altar calls a lot more effective, doesn't it? Would you like to accept Jesus as your Savior? I don't know. I would. I'd like to do that. I think I'll do it at Freedom Fest if I could. But you guys remember these ideas of what made us great, who we were, what it meant to be Americans. By your traditions. Traditions are crucial because they remind you who you are. You need them. They're part of the fabric of a society. Matter of fact, we do them all the time. When I came up on stage, you did a tradition. What'd you do? You clapped. That's a tradition. It's something we do to show continuity and community. And I love it. And we need it. We need applause. I'll tell you why. Because I don't know you. You don't know me. So applause is our way of shaking hands. With the added bonus, I don't have to touch you people. You're sweaty, you smell, you don't have an umbrella. So I don't want to tell you, this is long before COVID. I just never thought it made sense to touch people you didn't know. No other scenario do we touch strangers. Right? You go to church, you're sitting next to a stranger, you never said, well, I've never met you before, so scratch my back, would you please? Thank you. Oh, how do you like our church? Isn't it great? Wait till we get to the Holy Kiss. You're going to love that. That's in the Bible. It's in the Bible! It's a whole new thing, trying to understand the ideas of traditions. Shaking hands never made sense to me, didn't make sense to me. Somebody came up with it thousands of years ago. Somebody didn't have the discretion to stop and analyze it and see if it made sense. That's what's happened to America. People aren't analyzing crazy anymore. They're just doing it. So we gotta stop that. We gotta stop and analyze. Some guy thousands of years ago made this up on the fly and it stuck somehow. Yes, I don't know you. You don't know me. We're absolute strangers, so I suppose we should hold hands. Yes, it's even more awkward than I had hoped. I wonder if we could make it worse. How can we make it worse? This is horrifying. What if we were to hold hands and then, for no reason, move them up and down? People will think we're crazy. Now we'll blame it on climate change. Because that's what they all do now. That kid knows what I'm talking about. How old are you, son? You're sitting right there in the middle. How old are you, son? 15? That's all you've ever known. That's all you've ever been indoctrinated with. Climate change, climate change. They have spent billions of dollars giving professionals some funding to go out into the atmosphere, gather data, and come back with this incredible insight. It's really hot in the summer. Climate change. Plus, it's super cold in the winter. Climate change. We had climate change when we were 15. You know what they called it? The weather. I know. You're clapping because it makes sense. You're clapping because it makes sense. Don't you understand? The crazies are running the show now. Nothing makes sense anymore. Everything has gone nuts. Matter of fact, we're still here. We're still, as they said, still free for a second. We're hanging on by a thread. But I will tell you this. If you're waiting for D.C. to bail you out, you are that train's long gone. They have abandoned you. They are corrupt to the core, both sides. We have lost our way. The only shot America has, the only shot is what got us here in the first place. The Peasants' Revolt. That's right. The people take back their nation because we're the government. We're the government. People forget we've started taptoeing around people, not making nervous people. You say what you need to say instead of what is true. And people tell me I can't. See, I'm a Christian. And people who hate my faith try to use its virtues against me. You Christians aren't supposed to offend people. And I'm like, really? Well, then you know nothing of my religion. We're not allowed to maliciously offend people. Not allowed to think I'm better than you. I'm not. Not allowed to think God likes me more. He doesn't. Not allowed to think I'm superior. I'm not. Trust me, folks. The only reason I'm a Christian, it's the only religion that would have me. I tried to join the other guys. Can I join you? No bacon. I'm out. I'm out! What kind of God would deny me a BLT? I am out of here! But make me make this very, very clear if you have logic still left and you don't think it's racist. Let me make something very clear. If the truth offends you, that's your problem.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm not obligated to soft shell you on something that makes you simply try to change your direction and head back to true north. The truth is supposed to offend you. That's how you know you don't have it.
Yeah.
In the secular world, it's called your conscience. In the Christian world, it's called your conviction. It's true. It's true because God is true. They want to get rid of God because He will hold them accountable. And I have to pray for my enemies. You know that. That's a big flaw in Christianity. God says, pray for your enemies and love your enemies and pray for those that despitefully use you. But this is the good news. He doesn't tell you what to pray. So I simply pray, I hope they get saved, and then a second later, but if not, send them to hell as fast as possible. But what am I trying to speak about? What are we trying to discover? What is true? What is right? What is real? Because this country was built on lots of different types of people, and that's one thing that's a lie. One of the lies is that people on the right don't care about immigrants. Of course we want immigrants. We need immigrants. This country is great because of people from other parts of the world with older nations bringing the best they had to here, and then they became one of us. That's how it worked. It wasn't complicated. It was something that they did, but they come to become part of us. To become part of us. We are not built on multiculturalism. We're built on e pluribus unum. Out of many, yes, one. Because a house divided falls. Now I know what you're thinking, especially 15, because he goes to public school, so he's an idiot. You homeschooled? Oh, no. He's homeschooled. My bad. He's free. He's free. I love homeschool kids. Is this your sister? Oh, I love the homeschool kids. They're always the weirdest kid in the crowd. They always have clothes on that it looks like they loomed themselves that morning out of cotton that they'd grown themselves. And they're always the smartest kid in the room. Because they're taught truth. I just feel sorry for the homeschool kids. They can't have a normal life. Everything is a teaching experience. Dad, we ran out of gas. It's all right, son. I'm going to teach you how to make your own gas today. We're going to whittle ourselves a distillery, use some lard your mom got from the calf. Then we're heading back to the bunker where we're going to make our own ARs. I didn't hear a scream the whole time until I said AR. And one woman's like, yes! Now we're talking! High velocity propellants! Now we're doing Jesus! I love it that you guys understand that we are made of different types of people, but we were created by people who did come from different parts of the world that founded areas of the states, and they're all different, they're all unique. Tennessee has its own flavor. I was driving up and down the freeway, and I think I discovered the biggest waste of taxpayer money. I had to stop because I just realized the layout of this is so odd. I keep looking here, and no one's there. I look here, and it's the homeschool kids who's passing out from heat exhaustion. For some reason, he forgot to loom himself an umbrella this morning in shop class at homeschool. But there's some people here, and then all the people over here. The first ones to grab the fan in the shelter with me when the apocalypse hits. I don't want to be anywhere near you wussies, I'll tell you right now. I want to be with homeschool people bearing the sun. But I was driving up and down your freeway and I discovered the biggest waste of taxpayer money in Tennessee. It's your incredible but naive investment in speed limit signs. They're not working! Why waste the paint? Call them what it is, speed, because that's all I saw. All I saw was... And I made a mistake, I'll admit it. I wasn't used to this, but I made a mistake. Without asking, I accidentally merged. Look at the people in the back. Oh, is that you? I merged in the fast lane. I don't know how fast you have to go in the fast lane in Tennessee, but apparently you have to go faster than the fastest guy that's fastly approaching your butt. You want to be in the fast lane in Tennessee, you better be the fastest man in Tennessee or get out of the way! I was sitting there over some guy in his big old Tennessee truck right on top of me. I was like, what is happening? He had two kids in the back in car seats. Apparently this was a teaching moment. Kids, look at this idiot. He's going like, I don't know, 70 in a 70. What has happened to Americans? We used to take care of each other. We used to help each other build barns. Now we're angry at each other if we obey the law. This is the same guy that gets angry for being pulled over for speeding if the cop was hiding. Hey, where were you behind that bush? That's not fair. You're supposed to be out in the open so I can slow down before I pass you. That's how it's supposed to work. But it's always different, it's always unique, because the flavor of Tennessee has this rural connected with the big cities. Knoxville's a big city, Nashville's a big city, Memphis is a big city, and then the rural. I love that. You still have that flavor, that taste of what it made America, that you had to get your own beef and cut your own stuff, and just, like this place, just piles of meat in a truck, just piles. There's people in here that never get meat around the world, but he's got just truckloads of meat just piled in there.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Yes, hallelujah. That's what I'm talking about. Hallelujah. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. You got these odd things that I'm not used to, folks. I'm just simply not used to that you guys have grown up with here. I think I counted like 12 deer crossing signs on the way up, which I found interesting because I counted 13 dead deer. So apparently the deer are taking these signs literally. And they don't work. They never make it. Call them what it should be called. Deer tried crossing. Deer took a shot. That makes sense. But they say crossing and they never make it. And it's always what? The little baby deer dead, right? It's always a little mama fawn or... No, wait. What's the fawn? That's a baby. What's the baby? Fawn. What's the girl deer?
Doe.
So doe's a deer? A female deer? Oh, you Tennesseans are so easy. That was so obvious. Shooting fish in a barrel, then cook it up! What am I saying? What am I getting at? I'll tell you what I'm getting at. We have to understand that you guys have this unique flavor. And you know what? You love your deer. You hunt for your deer, but you never see. You see the little babies, the little mamas on the side of the road. You know what you never see? 10-point buck on the side of the road getting hit. You know why? Because the 10-point buck lives and sends his family out first. Hey, babe, it says deer crossing. Give it a shot. All right, let's keep going, son. Hey, there's no sign here. You might as well take it on off. All right, I'm going to stick on this side this week. Going to give me a new family next season. But that's the power of Tennessee. That's the power of Tennessee. You have these sort of unique people, special industry, beautiful state, gorgeous state. You are different than the other states. I was in Wisconsin in January. Driving over a bridge, over a lake. And there were 7 tents in the middle of the lake. Now, I'm no outdoorsman, but I'm thinking that has got to be the most disappointing camping trip. They picked a place where there's nowhere to set up a hammock, nowhere to burn some firewood. You know what I found out? These people, they weren't fishing. You know what they were doing? Yeah, ice fishing. How addicted to fishing do you have to be that you can't wait for the water to get wet? See, I don't fish, but I always assumed that God gave us clues to what a good day to fish might be. And I'm thinking, if you can make it out to the middle of the lake without a boat, you're either Jesus or it's not a good day to fish. If you're going fishing and you need a pole and a saw, not a good day to fish. If you cast your worm out and when it lands it gets a concussion, not a good day to fish. But it's Wisconsin, it's January, the lake is frozen, they are hungry and they are out of cheese. They're going in, and I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the fish. They're the most disrespected of all the proteins. Think about how we treat fish. We will go hunt a fish, catch a fish, pull up a fish, cut off the fish's head, scale the fish, cut open the fish, cook the fish, eat the fish, and then complain because he tastes fishy. If it's not undignified enough to be eaten, they're angry that you taste like yourself. We don't do this to other meat sources. Nobody's going to a steakhouse. Waiter! Oh my Lord. This is really cowy. It's almost like a beefy flavor. Is that normal? But see, this is the idea. We don't do that because Wisconsin is different than Tennessee. Then I went to Arizona. Arizona is a special place because it's also what the founders taught us. All types of people will found different parts of the country, made up of different demographics, and yet we will all be one because we will be Americans. I need you to understand. You better grasp this now. There is now a differentiation in this nation between what I call a citizen of the United States and an American. No longer can you just equate the two as equal because we have people here who are taking the greatest nation on earth, gleaning from it all the greatness that people have taken to it, yet they hate the nation and want it to die. I don't give them permission to call themselves Americans anymore. I strip that from you. You're a citizen. You ain't one of us. You're a traitor. Now that's simply the way it works. You don't get to hate a nation. You don't get to tear down a nation and then claim you love it. I see through it. I'm a Christ follower. I am beholden to speak truth always. Lies have destroyed this nation. You think I'm kidding? You think you couldn't fall for that? You guys are all liars. You're all liars. All of you. Look at these people. We are Christians. We would never lie. Really? So what do you do when you're confronted with that ugly baby? See what? Right now you're immediately trying to backpedal. Oh my goodness, there are no ugly babies. There are monkey babies out there and you've seen them. Come on! We've all been in that awkward situation. Here's my new baby. Oh. Woo! And you don't think you lie about it, but you do. Why? Because you're being polite. Because polite's the fancy word for lying. You start making excuses. Well, all babies are beautiful on the inside. That's true. All babies are beautiful on the inside. The problem is their parents bring them outside. And then we have to look at them, and then we start lying. Why? Because we're being nice to the people. Yes, you're being nice. You're being kind. I don't want a country where people are go around saying people are ugly. I don't want that. But I want a country where we're allowed to admit ugly people exist. Makes you uncomfortable, and that's the only kind of speech that must be held sacred. You have to care about speech you hate, or you don't care about free speech at all. You, as Christ followers and as conservatives, what does conservative mean? I want to conserve the wisdom of the ages. I want to conserve what it meant to be a people that were made under the image of God, given rights by God. I want to conserve a nation and its free and its territory. I want to conserve a constitution that gave us free rights. I want to conserve wisdom. I just want to conserve things at work. You don't call yourself a progressive. That's what they say. I'm progressive. What does that mean? They make some crap up and decide if you don't jump in, you're on the wrong side of history. That's not how it works. History has to happen first. You don't get to make something up and then decide I'm on the wrong side. I got 10,000 years of history proving that men and women are different. You're way on the wrong side of history, my friend. You don't think you can have a lie based on complete lies that the entire country can fall for? You don't believe that? Well, let me make something very clear. I'm just going to throw this out at you. Anybody notice anything odd happen in the United States in the last, 3 years? Anybody knows anything interesting, odd, unusual take place? I'm just saying that because just 3 years ago, us, who thought was the safest and most freest nation on earth, just 3 years ago, this right here would have been called a miracle. Human beings are somehow able to sit next to each other and survive. Yeah, this simple idea was suddenly miraculous. But I'll tell you what, just in case, since it said Freedom Fest, since Patriot was attached, since Christian was attached, that means that somebody is onto that. So just in case there's somebody out there that snuck in to see what Stine's up to and what the rest of American citizens are up to, just in case you snuck in so you can get back to this institution or that group of people and tell them what's going on, let's weed those people out, shall we? Here we go. What am I saying? If you didn't get it, you got it now. That's what I'm saying. Why? Because I spent 3 years with people telling me I had the number one symptom of coronavirus. And you know what they told us the number one symptom of corona was? No symptoms! The most dangerous people were the people that weren't sick. The crazies are running the show. Let me make something very clear, and then I got somebody get mad at me. Well, you know, people have died. Yes, I know many people died with COVID, not because of it. Yes, many people died with it, not of it, but they did die, and that's a terrible thing. I don't want to lose people, but here's what's interesting. They got upset. I said, listen, I don't make fun of dead people. I would never make fun of a dead person, but here's the one thing that's interesting. If I was making fun of a dead person, they'd be the only one that didn't care. You want to know things have gone awry? People are now being offended for people who don't even have feelings. You see, it's become a game. A game of what? Of truth? No, of lies. A game that is honest? No, it is deceitful. A game about power. Can I control you? Are you foolish enough to allow somebody to explain to you how to enslave yourselves and not realize you've done it? Well, I saw a whole bunch of people do it. Not have their rights stolen. No, worse than that. I watched you give them away. And you can do that in a free nation. The problem is, you're taking me down with you. I don't appreciate that. I thought you'd fight for liberty like our people used to do. Do you understand what we were? We were a group of people that fought against the greatest nation on earth's army, and we won when confronted. We weren't afraid. We won and created this nation. Then during the Civil War came on, and people were able to fight for what they believed was true, and we remained a nation. We didn't run. We didn't hide. Back in the World War II, we didn't run away or leave it over there. We said we got to keep democracy free, and we need freedom safe even here, so we got to stop the fascism now. Got to stop the Nazis now. And then we do it again. Even September 11th, when we were attacked on our own ground, we stood up as a nation, not cowering, and we came together. 2.5 years ago, the biggest fear of Americans was running out of toilet paper. Are you kidding me? People were hoarding toilet paper from Costco in pallets. We now have Americans going, oh, if I don't have paper, I don't even know how to wipe my own butt. I can't imagine fashioning some other item without the paper. I don't know, the sink? Figure it out. You're an American. Use some ingenuity. But here's what makes it crazy. Here's what makes it unusual. If you, next time a virus pops through with a 99.8% survival rate, I'm thinking, let's not shut down Earth. Just throwing it out. What do I know? And listen, I get it. I'm no expert. I'm no no Fauci?
I'm no Fauci.
How did one man make that much money, be wrong that many times, and not at least be a weatherman? Explain that one to me, folks. Oh, we need to let it go. I had people tell me that. We need to let it go. I can't let it go. How am I going to let it go when I have people, next door neighbors, how I have people in stores telling me that if I didn't put a mask on, I was killing people? How am I going to forget people that told me I shouldn't have a job, I shouldn't be able to work, I shouldn't be able to travel, I shouldn't be able to move around? How am I going to do that when people who say they were American citizens decided they were going to steal my rights and shame me? I'm going to forget about that? I don't think I shall. I don't think I'll forget one moment of that moment. Because it's going to happen again until this time maybe you guys actually give a crap and do something. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. From now on, as a matter of fact, I think we need to never forget Anthony Fauci. We need a new moniker for this guy. Every time some bureaucrat gets on stage and decides he's going to tell us how to live, what to do, and he's going to be wrong every time, but they're going to keep covering for him. But it's always wrong. We're going to say, you Fauci'd that up. Let's just make a term out of it. Hey, I think you need your 15th booster. Ah, you Fauci'd that one up. You see, everything's changed. The control of words is what happens. Whoever controls the words of the people control the people. This used to be called a great crowd. Then it became a super spreader. And it was a super spreader. Unless you were doing that while burning down buildings and looting, then it was a peaceful protest. And it is a peaceful protest, unless you're protesting a presidential election. Then it's an insurrection! And it is an insurrection, unless you're doing that under LGBTQ constructs. Then you're just exercising your democracy. And you are exercising your democracy. Unless you do it at a school board meeting. Then you're a domestic terrorist. And you are a domestic terrorist, unless you're doing that under the auspices of the IRS, the CDC, or the FBI. Then you're just trying to make things safe for democracy. I see through you. I know what you're up to. And I also told my children, if I have to die for this one, I go down like a man. I'm an American. Act like it. Act like it. Draw a line in the stinking sand. That's all we got left, folks. All we got left is the people. I love it when they let me in the restaurant. I love it when they let me into the restaurants. We're going to let you in the restaurants. Get a mask on! All right, no, not there. Over the nose. Not there. There. There's the problem, right there. Get your mask on. I did. As soon as you sat down, take it off.
Yep.
Why were we so frightened by a virus apparently so stupid it couldn't find you when you sat down? You got your mask on, you sit down, take it off. Are you frightened? Not at this altitude. Up here I'm scared to death, but not way down here. Think about that. When in the world did chairs become a four-legged vaccine? That's what I want to know. Apparently we never needed Pfizer, just IKEA. We need it.
Yes.
Somewhere we came up with this concept, we could have kept the economy wide open if we had just remained seated. But this is what happens when lies control the narrative. So let me make this very clear as I close. And by the way, in case you happen to like comedy that lifts up God and country and tears down political correctness, because I want to watch political correctness die in my lifetime. But first, I want to watch it suffer. So, as long as I have a mind, a mouth, and a mic, I'm going to do my dangdest to get at it. I do have some DVDs out there. One's called Defending the Constitution Without Shooting Someone. No promises, just saying it's there. I got my comedy, and I also have my book, Being a Christian Without Being an Idiot. An autobiography, obviously. And they're all there for you guys to enjoy and to sample. But here's the deal. I came here because I've seen these little moments, these grassroots happen throughout the nation. When Corona hit, I immediately went to states I knew would be wide open. I went to Dakotas, I went to Idaho's. I just know those people. They are crazy. They're serious about freedom. And then, of course, we had the Kristi Noem is the only second governor that never shut down her state. We needed a woman to have balls. What the heck happened to this nation? Right? But here's all I can tell you guys. I do not know where this nation's going to go. None of us do. Our freedom, our liberties were not guaranteed. They came with a great price, and they were told that they were very fragile, and they will not withstand themselves in perpetuity unless the people decide we've had enough of your games. You see, we have the numbers. Just look at Bud Light. We have the numbers if we have the courage and the willingness to sacrifice things that you like for the hope that your kids can see what it means to be free. That's where we're at. So join us in the fight of our lives, because this is still the greatest nation the world has ever known. Stand for it and fight for it. Thank you, guys. All right.
And now you see why I love him.